Hello, I'm socially impaired, and today I have a young lady coming on who helped organize the protest at UC Berkeley a few weeks ago. She's also the national organizer for the Coalition to Defend Affirmative Action, Integration and Immigration Rights, and Fight for Equality by Any Means Necessary. Yes, she is the national organizer for that coalition. Before I bring her on, I'd like to show you how she acted last summer at Sacramento. There was a person on the street that she very much disagreed with. Like, she really did not like his ideas. So this was her response.
Off our street! Get the off our
Are
street!
these people going to get
Off our street!
we don't have freedom of speech?
Need to go, boy!
Hey, say we sit here.
Be nice!
Come here now.
Off our streets! Get the off our street! You
Sir, please. Just here to protest.
off our street!
Please up.
Stand down! Get out! Get back!
That's how she acted. Yeah. And she's not apologetic about this at all. I would like to note real fast that those cops took a really long time to break that up. I don't know why it took them that long. I mean, it looks like they got all the protection they would need, so I don't see why they wouldn't jump in that a little quicker. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, I cannot pronunciate her name. This is her name. I cannot pronunciate that. I very much struggled just to say Milo Yiannopoulos. So, Yiannopoulos? So here she is. She joins us. Maybe she can explain herself. So I'll just get right into it. So you believe that you can shut people down, that you almost have a right to prevent people from speaking, and you personally can forcibly remove them through violent means because you disagree with their ideology or their political ideology. And so what you do is you call them a fascist. That's basically like your red line, that you personally define them as, yes, they are a fascist. Therefore, you have the right to physically remove them. So what is a fascist to you?
So a fascist is someone who's organizing a mass movement that's attacking women, immigrants, black people, other minority groups in a movement of genocide. That's what a fascist is.
In a movement of genocide. Who determines what how this movement starts? So if I have an opinion that you disagree with, am I planting the seeds of genocide?
And it's someone who's committing violence and who's trying to organize other people to commit violence.
Is that what Milo was doing at UC Berkeley a few weeks ago? Using his fascist tactics to plant the seeds of genocide? Is that how you envision his talks? Could you give some examples of this? I mean, if you're going to call someone a fascist, and that they're basically the first chapter of a book of genocide, then maybe you could back it up with, like, he very specifically on this date did this and said this. Something.
Milo Yiannopoulos is a fascist.
Oh, because you say so. Milo Yiannopoulos is a fascist because you say so. Ah, now we all know. Thank you.
What he's doing is he's trying to be the youth face and the token that other people who are organizing violence try to hide behind.
You are the one committing violence. You are committing violence. Attacking people because they're in the streets protesting and saying shit you don't like, and then you attack them. Yeah, you're the violent person. And you condone it too. So what the fuck are you even talking about? So you condone it when it's you against someone that you call a fascist, but you also say that Milo is doing this against others, and yet you won't cite examples? We have you on video, actually committing violent acts against people you just disagree with politically.
What Yiannopoulos has done is whip up a whole lynch mob mentality where people who come to see him or his supporters not only agree with his views, but also attack other people.
A lynch mob mentality. You heard that. A lynch mob mentality. You accuse Milo. You're the one who attacked someone and encouraged others around you to attack them too. You're the one who created a slight mob and forced the police to engage. You! And yet you accuse Milo?
In Washington State, when one of his supporters came and actually shot an anti-fascist protester. But in Berkeley, we made sure that didn't happen because we were able to shut him down.
Oh, you have evidence of a shooter on site, and the only way to prevent that shooter from killing is to turn into a riot, set fires, and pepper spray women when they're not looking? Yes, thank God you were there. Thank you. We appreciate your mob-like mentality.
The fascist movement takes many forms, and it always tries to have one form that looks respectable and a little bit milder. But Yiannopoulos isn't just a stand-up comedian, and he isn't someone who just has ideas and posts them up on YouTube. He's someone who is funded by Breitbart and Steve Bannon to go around to college campuses to try to recruit other young people to then conduct those attacks on his behalf and on Trump's behalf.
Do you have evidence of this? I mean, look, people get funding, okay? But do you actually have evidence that they're using money to specifically recruit people to engage in violent acts? Because that's what you just said. So, do you have evidence of this? Because how can you make such a claim without backing it up?
But I'm really, really glad to say that thousands of us were out there last week, or February 1st, and made sure that there were thousands of us to make sure that we defended our campus, this community.
You gotta defend the campus against free ideas. And the only way to defend is through violent means. People speaking their ideas on campus. Controversial ideas take place. And you turn to defense. You're not defending shit.
And especially the immigrant and Muslim students who were under attack and have been under attack by him and other fascists.
By him. Under attack by him. What? Are they under attack by his ideas? Look, ideas they're harmless. They actually don't hurt anyone. It's when you act on bad ideas is when people actually get hurt. Like, oh, I don't know, attacking people because you disagree with them. There's a bad idea. And you acted upon it. But you having that idea, I don't oppose. I'll fight your idea with my ideas. You can't sit here and say, oh yeah, we got to defend the campus through violent means. And then say that they're the violent ones. Why? Because they have ideas you don't like? Ooh, scary.
And we make sure that they're not allowed to recruit and act as if it's respectable to call for the mass murder of millions of people. In fact, millions who make up the majority of people in this nation at this point.
Who are you talking about? The mass genocide? Who is saying that? Who is out there saying, you know what? What we really need is to just kill the vast majority of the human population. I think we'd be all better off if we did that. So who's with me? Good idea? Good idea? You guys want to do it? Yeah? Oh, wow, this is really turning into a movement. I didn't realize. Man, recruiting is simple. Wow, this is going to spiral out of control if someone doesn't stop us through violent means. Ooh. Hey, Tucker Carlson, can you get the rest of that?
Milo Yiannopoulos, this is not a defense of him, just a factual point, has not ever said that, in public anyway, not that we have a record of. There's no evidence that he has called for the genocide of anybody.
Hey, what do you think about the alt-right?
The alt-right is a neo-fascist movement, and they're trying to hide behind some softer versions of their more open counterparts who identify themselves as Nazis. But they're still part of the same movement, first of all. Second of all, when someone is trying to speak at a campus or at a rally, they're doing it not just because they have an opinion, but someone like Yiannopoulos or any other alt-righter or fascist or neo-fascist is doing it to recruit other people.
Where is the evidence of this? You know, when he goes up to speak, a lot of people record it. So you can actually watch it and be like, right there, that's the spot where he's clearly recruiting people for this group that's end goal is human genocide.
When you look back at the Holocaust and the lessons that we draw from that, we don't say, oh, well, at least we let them voice their opinion. We say never again.
Remember, it's ideas. If they're so goddamn bad, at least as bad as you make them out to be, then you should have absolutely no problem refuting them with your own ideas. Hey, most people agree that genocide is bad. Yeah. Did you not know that? And remember, we're still talking about your beliefs. This is not confirmed fact. There's no evidence to show this recruitment. It's your beliefs. So, using your own logic, does this mean that if I personally believed that you are a threat to our Constitution and can lead eventually to things like concentration camps and mass genocide, if I firmly believe this to be true, does that mean, using your own logic, that I can recruit others to attack you through violent means because I disagree with your ideas? You don't have to answer, it was rhetorical.
His racist and misogynistic and homophobic lies.
Should Milo be allowed to speak in public? Should he? Should he have that right? What are your American values? I'm asking right now, should Milo be allowed to speak in public? And this is a very direct yes or no question.
No, he does not have the right to do that.
We all come together and be like, okay, it's that speech in particular, we really don't like that. So when people say those things, we get to remove them. We get to prevent them from speaking. Through violent means, by the way. If we can say, yes, it is okay to do it to that person today, then who is it tomorrow? Is it you? Is it me? Who are we going after tomorrow?
If you're trying to spread racism and hostility, misogyny, rape, whip up people to lynch people, or to certainly have that mentality to rape people or to lynch them, absolutely not.
Who is approving of rape? Who are these people? Are you honestly saying that you can't use ideas to fight against people who advocate for rape?
Any decent human being, whether it was in a classroom or at a restaurant, if they heard someone doing that, would turn around and tell them, you need to stop talking. You are not welcome here. This is not a safe environment. You need to go.
I would like to take this opportunity to say that you, madam, are not a decent human being. You should not be a teacher, and your ideas are fucking Looney Tunes. You are aggressive, you are physically violent, and you are a bad, bad person. You make a perfect example on why we should pay our teachers more, because then we can hire people that are better than you. What do you think of the First Amendment?
The First Amendment is about free speech, but that's not an abstraction. And if there was someone in my classroom who was espousing rape or genocide or attacks on Muslims, I would certainly make sure that I stood up for the rest of my students and told them they need to stop. And if they refused to, they would need to leave.
The First Amendment to the Constitution.
If there was a fascist in any situation that I was in, I would call for other people to take action too.
Well, that's it for me. I'm turning in. Hey, Tucker, do you want to get in the last question?
I just want to know, like, the protocol for anti-fascist activists like yourself. You're standing on a street corner, someone starts saying something you don't like, and you think, boy, that's an act of hostility, that person's a fascist.
No, but you are misrepresenting the words that I've been saying. This isn't about not liking something. This isn't about Ben and Jerry's versus Stone Cold Pizza or something. This is about the lives of real people, immigrants who are under attack now,
I got it.
Muslims who are being massacred,
and I'm
women who are
asking
being
you,
raped.
how deep
so,
is your
so
commitment?
you're the one trivializing this, not me.
I'm not in any way trivializing, and I ask you a sincere question. To what extent would you go to stop that person from spreading genocidal propaganda?
I would call for people to counter-protest, to stand up, and to shut down any
But what do you
attempts
mean
to
by shut
fascistly
down?
recruit and
Like,
organize.
what if I want to keep talking? I'm saying something that you find appalling, but you know what? I've got a First Amendment right. I'm an American. What would you do? So a bunch of people come and say, stop that. I say, no, I'm not going to stop that. I'm an American. What are you going to do next?
You know, the First Amendment, you want to talk about the First Amendment? Coretta Scott King's letter wasn't allowed to be read on the floor of the Senate last week under the Constitution in the Senate.
Well, that's not exactly what happened.
And yet, at the same time, you're the one then who's actually trying to defend someone like a fascist speaking and recruiting at a college campus.
All right, Yvette,
I'm proud to say that we all stood up and we shut him down.
I don't want to abridge your speech rights. All right, thanks for coming on and showing us what you believe.